Now, as the newest graduates of Pomona, you've been shaped and prepared, not only for personal achievement, but also to serve a more common good, to build a more environmentally sustainable future, to create a more fair and just world. Now, one of the remarkable things about my job, and it is indeed a huge job, is seeing the tremendous displays of resilience and civic spirit around our country. Amid the tragedy and hardship, I also witnessed the sacrifice and devotion of our first responders, our law enforcement officers, and our public servants at every level. I've seen Greensburg, Kansas, which was totally flattened by a tornado. I've seen communities along our Gulf Coast that have come back from Hurricanes Katrina and Rita only now to confront the BP oil spill, the largest such spill in our history. And every time, there are stories of great strength, of survival and revival, and of resilience. And just because stories about cooperation and collaboration don't boost ratings, we cannot lose sight of the fact that it's not TV producers and talk show hosts who have the finger on the pulse of our nation. It is the thousands of citizens who turn out to help their neighbors and to help total strangers at times of need. Now, can government do better? Can we become more constructive at empowering families and communities, small businesses, and help them to thrive during these challenging times? Indeed, we can. And we work toward those goals every day. But here again, the public is ahead of the conventional wisdom. For example, interest in community service programs like AmeriCorps, Citizen Corps, and the Peace Corps has never been higher. That's why so many promising graduates like you apply for programs like Teach for America, and why last year my department received more than 1,000 applications for our DHS Honors Fellowships to fill fewer than 15 slots. So don't buy the argument that we don't engage one another in person or in groups to better our communities. The need now is greater than ever. I spoke recently at the 15th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing, a heinous domestic terrorist attack that happened when most of you were probably in the first grade. But even if you don't remember that event, all of you have grown up in an age when the threats and the reality of terrorism have become a part of our national dialogue. So another important reason to reject the cynicism that serves as an excuse to do nothing is that the country needs you. To remain strong, our nation surely depends on a strong defense. It needs strong diplomacy, and it needs a strong and engaged citizenry. The true bedrock of our nation's strength is its people, and the values that we defend and hold dear: freedom, hard work, sacrifice, shared responsibility. Now, those values are on display every day in communities across the country, communities of every type imaginable. And helping build those communities and keeping them strong and secure is what graduates like you must now do. Now, in one sense, Pomona has given you powerful tools to tackle these challenges and to embrace the complexity of the world around us, to be comfortable with the fact that much of what we confront defies simple, one-fits-all answers. It's a remarkable thing, this liberal arts education. Maybe you've had a provocative philosophy class or an amazing oceanography professor. In fact, if you sat down, you could probably come up with 47 different ways the Pomona experience has influenced you. But even beyond the specific knowledge of any one field is the preparation to be able to think critically and independently, to appreciate cultural and historical context, to write and argue forcefully, but also respectfully. I call this practical imagination. And sparking the practical imaginations of young people has been an important element of the liberal education for centuries. It has never been more important than today, where we live in a world where change is a certainty and where we are challenged to evolve and adapt in myriad ways. Today, technology, communication, society, and just about everything else evolve faster than at any point in time. This has given us both greater risk and greater opportunity in life. The anxiety that many people feel can create a sense of disorientation. That it comes with feeling that we live in an ever-changing world, the feeling that something is constantly shifting beneath your feet. This is the feeling that change is being done to you, and it can make change a frightening thing. Now, I know a little bit about this in my current position, because many of our security challenges today emerge from the reality that a changing world produces new enemies and new threats. And when you get a briefing every morning on the new ways that terrorists are trying to kill people by exploiting new technology, global travel, and other hallmarks of a changing world, well, it's not the happiest way to start the morning. But change in our world fulfills a greater role. It challenges us, but it is empowering to us to shape the world according to how we envision it. This isn't change being done to you. This is change being done by you. So I'll close by coming back to the town of Greensburg, Kansas, that I mentioned earlier, a town most of you have never heard of. I visited Greensburg after that massive tornado that destroyed 95% of all of its standing structures. Change certainly hasn't been done to the people of Greensburg. They refused to let nature have the last word. Instead, they decided to regroup, to rethink, then to rebuild their town, not the way it was, but as something new, as a national laboratory for environmental friendliness and sustainability, using LEED standards as the hallmark for their new school buildings and their stores. That's the kind of change being done by you. As graduates, you now have the skills and the sensibilities to affect change in your own way. And when President Oxtoby presents you with your diplomas in a few minutes, don't just use them to show the world that you're a Pomona graduate. Use them as a license to engage the world, a license to practice positive change, a license to use your practical imagination. All of us will be watching eagerly to see how you use your license, to see how you produce change that's done by you. Congratulations on the achievement you mark today, and thank you for inviting me here.